We'll begin in 1 minute. Finalists, if I can get you on camera or ready. All right, good.
Wait, hold on. Oh wait, I'm interrupting. Apparently Chloe K is watching the podcast. Late night headphones glowing in the dark. Another episode about to start. A one down podcast on the air tonight. Talking Big Brother, breaking down the fight. Meanwhile in the Mythos arcade, secrets hanging in the clouds. Everyone playing the social game, but one string changed everything. Because somewhere in the middle of the show, something slipped they didn't know. A message moving through the feed, and suddenly the room went quiet. Chloe K is watching, yeah, the chat just caught it live. Chloe K is watching.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live jury Q&A of One Up Big Brother 5 Time Warp. Our finalists are here and ready to plead their cases as to why they should be the next winner of One Up Big Brother. Walk away with the $250 grand prize, or $50 if you're runner-up, and prove themselves to the jurors. Not going to take up too much of my time because this is all about them. So please welcome our finalists, Jason and Sam. What up, what up? How we doing? How we feeling?
Hi, very nervous.
I'm on season 5 of this, and I still get antsy doing this whole thing, but it's fine.
Listen, this is probably going to go really bad. Everybody watching, this is my first time doing this, so prayers.
Jason, I
Jason,
can't
you're
hear
muted.
you. I love the martini, though.
No.
By default, congratulations, Sam. You are the winner.
How about now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I can't.
You can't hear him?
No.
What the hell?
You need to hear me.
I guess I don't need to. I don't know.
That's so strange.
How do I find my...
Can he hear me? Oh.
Can you hear Sam? Oh, well, I can't hear you again. We will get... No.
No, I really talked. How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sam, you cannot hear him?
No.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So, solution to that, Sam, if you have the YouTube link by chance, or are you doing this off of your phone?
No, I can try and get the link.
Here.
But then,
My
aren't you
headphones
gonna,
don't
like,
come up.
when I'm talking, aren't you gonna hear it?
Yes.
Like, it's gonna echo.
I would mute. So when it's your turn up, mute the actual YouTube. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. Technical difficulties. Common trend this season.
Yep.
It's always
where's the
Sam.
link
I
for
can't
the
see the
live?
video. Can't hear Jason.
Oh, I can. Okay.
I heard that. I heard that.
Oh, I can. Okay.
I heard that.
So here, What I'm going to do, Sam, when Jason is speaking, either you turn off your microphone or I'll turn it off just so we don't get the echo. But as long as you can hear it, that's all I care about. When you're up, you can just go back on the stream. All right. So prior to this beginning, I asked both of you, you're going to have 5 minutes to make an opening statement as well as 5 minutes to make a closing statement once we conclude. How this works, whoever opens up first will close last and vice versa. So it's up to you two to decide who wants to do their opening statement first, which will mean they will do their closing statement last. And I'm not picky.
Oh, I told Sam whatever she wants.
Okay.
I can. What did he say?
Whatever you want to do.
I'll go first.
You want to go first? Okay, Jason, I am going to take you backstage, and I'm going to give Sam the floor.
Can you tell me when I can start?
You can start whenever.
Oh, I can't hear you now.
You can start whenever.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hi, jurors. Thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to explain the game that I played and answer your questions. Coming into this game, I wanted to play differently than I have in the past. In other games, I've been someone who lets my heart make decisions for me. In this game, I made a conscious effort to play with my head instead. That meant making difficult decisions, taking risks, and sometimes making moves that I knew would upset people if I believed they were necessary for my game. Throughout this season, I turned allies into enemies and enemies into allies. I tried to stay as fluid and adaptable as possible because this game was constantly changing. I also tried to play as honest as I could for as long as I could. I wanted my actions to speak louder than my words and my promises. I know my social game isn't everyone's cup of tea. I'm not the type of player who tries to be everyone's best friend. That's never been my style. Instead, I wanted to have genuine trust with the people I was working with, while keeping enough options available to make the moves I felt were best for my game if I was in a position of power. I also believe one of the most important parts of this game is understanding where the house stands at all times. And that's kind of difficult when you aren't personally aligned with the whole house. But because my allies had connections to different parts of the house, I was constantly able to gather information, understand shifting dynamics, and make informed decisions rather than emotional ones. One thing I'm particularly proud of is that apart from the first cycle twist and the final cycle, I was never in a position of danger. From cycle 2 to cycle 13, there wasn't a single cycle where I sat as a final nominee with the possibility of being voted out. I never had one single vote against me all season. I think one of the strongest examples of my game was Jason choosing to bring me to the final 2. I genuinely believe, based on the fact that he and Michael had more similar game styles and how mine was different from theirs, I could be perceived as the harder person for him to go against. However, because of the trust I built and the amount of time I put in to secure such a strong foundation for our relationship in here, he viewed me more as his loyal ally instead of his biggest threat. Competition-wise, I won 3 HOHs and 2 vetoes. Every HOH I won, I made moves I needed to make to advance my game. I wasn't scared to get bloody and make a risky move. I didn't want to play it safe. One veto when I saved myself. Another, I made a backdoor move, which I truly believe advanced my game and the game as a whole tremendously. I made a risky calculated move to throw the veto when I was a nominee to Jason because I didn't want both of my allies to be stuck on the block at the end of the cycle together, ensuring one of them went home, and I wanted to force Jason into finally showing some cards and crossing lines. More than anything, I truly believe that I played the game that I intended on playing this season. I wanted to be brave. I wanted to make decisions that gave me the best chance to win, even if they were very risky. I wanted to leave this game knowing I stayed true to my strategy instead of letting fear dictate my moves. The decisions I made in this game were intentional. Every risk had a purpose. Every move was made with the goal of earning my spot here tonight. I'm proud of the game that I played, and I hope by the end of this evening you'll understand why. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam. I'm going to send you backstage. Jason, you are now up. Make sure.
Oh, I fucked up. I didn't write shit. When do I start?
You can start whenever you want. Once you start, that's when I will start your 5-minute timer.
How do you know like what's starting and what's just me rambling and
Once I
prolonging
leave
it?
the stream, it starts.
Okay. Um, sorry in advance. I've already had a drink or two and I did not write anything ahead of time, so get ready for the shit show. Um, Coming into this game, I did not have a set strategy, and that low key was my strategy and is always my strategy coming into games. Like, there's so many twists and like variables with casts that you can't have something set in your head. You have to be ready to adapt. And I feel like I adapted to the twists and the format of this game like right out the gate. Like as soon as they revealed anonymous eviction votes, I was like, well, I guess I can be a messy girl and just be in with everybody and play all sides. And the chance of me getting caught is going to be lower than usual. So right out the gate, I made sure to cast a wide net in terms of like people that I got good with. I made an alliance pretty early on with Slade, Sam, and Starla, which eventually ended up just being me, Slade, and Sam. And also an alliance with Michael, Imana, Mackenzie, and Kevin called the Clock Destroyers, which like for answering questions and shit in the future, I'm just going to refer to as clocks. So if I say clocks, that's what I'm talking about. And then I also had really good one-on-one connections with people right off, like Derek and Jimberly and Drago and Desiree. And I just kind of rode that out as long as I could. It worked for me right through the hidden vote counts. And then getting into the jury phase, I was potentially ready to pivot to a more, comp heavy game. I think having a well-rounded game is really important, but you need to understand when you need to lean on specific aspects. And the aspect I think was most important to lean on for this season in particular was social game. Because of the anonymous votes and getting right out of the anonymous votes and going into a Cloud9 twist, it made no sense to an HOH. The risk versus reward in terms of being HOH and being safe for a cycle, but potentially having to nominate 5 people made no sense to me, especially given the position that I was in coming out of the triple eviction, which I feel like was in a really, really good spot. Like going into jury, I legit think I was aligned with everybody left in the game at that point. And then it just continued. Like we ended the Cloud9 comps and got into like the anonymous cycle that like the blackout week that Imana ended up leaving in. And that again was another cycle where you like really didn't know what was happening. So you had to just lock in socially to survive. And since I have had my like pedal to the floor socially the whole game, I just kept riding that out as long as I could. And eventually got to like final 6 or final 5 when I kind of had to show my cards and prioritize Sam over, someone like Michael or people that I'm really good with at that point and kind of reveal like what my actual end game was. But at that point, it didn't matter because I was able to just win out and get myself to the end. I feel like there were many opportunities where my game should have been called out and kind of put out in the open, and they weren't, and it wasn't. And I think it was because of how I was able to position myself with people and make people feel like, okay, even if he does have this other group, I feel like he still is going to be loyal to me because either he needs me or I need him. That's why like I totally fit the mold of a needy beta this game. I think it's so funny that Wu did that test, because that was my game for most of the season. Is just like I want people to feel like they need me, and therefore are going to keep me no matter what, even if I'm nominated. And it, even when I got nominated, I like did not feel like I was at risk. I played the game, and I usually play my game like pretty defensive in terms of like I would rather prepare to have to get votes to stay if I'm nominated than just avoid the block. I feel like a lot of people get nervous and either win an HOH or like throw their game away to avoid the block and be safe. And in a lot of ways that can tank people's games. And I was ready to take the risk and make sure that I was at least safe being on the block if I did get nominated, and I was fine like not securing safety through a comp win, which is what I usually do. I feel like I'm very
Wrap it up.
used to like winning stuff, but I was like so on board to just like lean into the social game and take that to the end. But yeah, I will wait for questions to be more specific. That's all I'd like to say.
All right. Thank you, Jason. I'm going to bring Sam back to the stage. Whoop, whoop. All right. Opening statements are
Can you hear
over.
me?
Yes.
I can't hear you now.
Oh my gosh. What the hell?
1 second.
All right. Opening statements done. It is time for the main event, which is bringing in all of our lovely jurors to start asking their anticipated questions that they have prepared for you. Oh my god, no one can hear. What the hell? But first up, we are bringing in our first juror, who is a woman who needs no introduction. Hello, Jimberly.
Oh my god, is she really getting on? Oh,
Oh my god.
I did not think she was gonna. My god.
Hello, Queen.
Hi. Okay. First off, I want to say that congratulations to both of you guys. You guys played like really good games in my opinion. But I'm gonna say straight off the bat, Jason, the jury is leaning towards you. And I think overall you have played a phenomenal game. Like your social game, you had me missed it really badly. I'm so mad that I wasn't actually your number one. But whatever.
You were close. You were so close early on. You were in the running.
Okay, but like, okay,
You were.
ask this like later after the season. But
Yeah.
okay, so my question for you, Jason, is why did you bring Sam to the end over Michael? And Sam, I have two questions for you. So apparently for the Steven nomination, it was apparently Derek and Slade who were pushing you to put up Steven, and it wasn't really your choice. Like they kind of pressured you into doing it, kind of like not really manipulated, but kind of just overall pushed you to doing Steven. In what way do you think that nominating Steven actually benefited your game when he seemed to be really close to you? Like you were the only person outside of our alliance that he told you about the spear and his weapon and stuff like that. So was it a really good choice for you to take out Steven when it clearly benefited so many other people? And my second question is, if you had won the final 3 HOH, who would you have nominated? Or I mean, who would you have brought to the end with you, Jason or Michael? Okay, thanks.
Do you want
You
me to go
forgot my
first? Do you want to
question.
go first?
I forgot the question she asked me, so if I go first,
I
can you
guess-
repeat it?
I guess I can go first.
Okay.
So if I would have won the final 3 comp, I would have brought Jason. I already told Michael prior that I wasn't going to bring him. And honestly, it was more based on just the loyalty aspect. Like, I ran this whole game with Jason since the beginning of the game. I wouldn't have felt good about just cutting him last minute. I knew that he played a very good social game, and it was more so like behind the scenes, sneaky kind of game, but he played it amazing, and I think that he deserves his flowers, and he deserved a shot at being here with me if I had that opportunity. As per your question about Derek and Slade more dictating that, it's not that they dictated it. I know Slade felt some type of way with Steven and didn't feel comfortable with Steven. And honestly, my plan originally wasn't to go for Steven. My plan was to just put up you and Woo and then have Nom stay the same. But the more that I thought about it, I calculated all the red flags that I had accumulated from Steven. And I knew that since the beginning of the game, even though I was an ally of his and he was an ally of mine, there was just so many lies that he kept saying. And I know that he ended up telling me about his weapon, but it wasn't until the next day. And I'm pretty sure he only did that because he felt like you guys didn't have a chance to win. So he was more so using me. I just felt like he wasn't the type of ally that I wanted in this game. And he was more dangerous for my game long term. And I wanted to take the shot. And I took the shot because I knew that I had the numbers to take the shot. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Okay,
And
thank you,
then
Sam.
mine was about
I look, you forgot.
let's say I'm so gagged that you got on camera. I can't believe it.
I
It was something
I
about
think
Sam, I think.
I think you asked him why he took me instead of Michael.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like the loyalty aspect with Sam. Okay. Um, I've known Sam for like 4 years now. And we didn't exactly get off like on the best foot initially when we met each other. We had played a game together that we were supposed to be working together, and I thought that she was plotting against me, and I took a shot and got rid of her. And I found out at the end of the season that she was super loyal to me, and I felt really bad about it and have been trying to kind of make amends for that mistake. So when we finally got to play in another game together, I was like, let's like ride to the end. Like I owe you. Like you're going to be my girl. I swear. And that was why from the get-go I wanted to work with her, and then it just kind of kept building, and we were both like very honest. Like we told each other everything. And I know how she is as a player, and I know she is super loyal, especially now. But I just felt I had to, that was like my like second one like commitment, and I just had to like own it and ride with it. So that was why I ultimately chose her over other people that I still felt really good with.
Okay, thanks.
See, now I'm muted. Okay. Ended right at 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Jimberly. You are good to watch the stream, hang out backstage, do whatever you want to do. I'm going to remove you. All right. But up next, we have got our next juror coming to the stage. That would be Derek. Welcome, Derek. How are we doing? Hopefully you can hear me. Derek on the
Wait,
can.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, no.
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Derek,
Can you
whenever
hear me,
you are
Jason?
ready.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I can't hear Jason. That's crazy. Okay. Dang, I don't know how to do this then. I can't hear him. I guess
Jason,
I'll
he
just
Hold on.
Jason,
just
he's saying
watch.
he can't hear you.
Yeah.
You can't hear me?
Okay, you know what? I'll just probably just watch the stream and listen to the answer. But anyways,
Okay.
oh, what
Remove the
happened?
wrong.
Hello. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I can. Okay, I'm good, right? Okay. All right. So, me as a juror and as a respect for the game, like I'm gonna be real. I am not gonna be easy on y'all. I will say, knowing what I know now, like I truly wish the final two was Kevin and Michael, because those were my girls. And like again, nothing against you both, but like I feel like knowing what I know now, it's kind of like, well, I mean, there we go, we have it. So yeah. But anyways, Jason, I'm gonna start with you. So Big Brother, it's about social capital and influence, and like I feel like that's something that I look for into a winner. So my question for you, and keep it brief a little bit, my question for you is, who was the hardest person in this jury to influence during the game, and what did you do to either gain their trust or work around them?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. I would say even though I felt secure with them in the fact that they wouldn't come for me, the person I had the hardest time influencing in this game was Imana. Me and Imana had a lot of game conversations, and most of the time when we did have conversations about what we thought the other should do, we kind of butt heads, and at the end of the day, we both kind of did our own thing. So even though I did trust them for a long time and I thought we were good, I knew we were getting to a point where I needed to get in the end game and have someone that I could potentially flip their mind in terms of what I needed them to do. And Imana had proven a couple of times that no matter what I said, they were still going to do what they thought was best, and therefore they were someone that I thought I had to cut when I cut them. So I would say Imana.
All right. If I take forever to respond, it's because I'm watching it from the stream. But anyways, um, good answer. I respect that. Sam, Sam. So congratulations. It really does take determination to make it to finale night, and I can't even pretend that getting here was easy, but making it to the end and deserving to win are two very different things. So you spent this season confusing intimidation with influence and cruelty with confidence and humiliation with strategy. And, at times, I feel like you insulted people who were already vulnerable because you thought that making them feel, bad and making them feel like low would somehow make you look bigger. And even though you were already on top because of your alliances, you clearly weren't. So you mocked people because some people's games or decisions that they had were laughable, and at times they were hanging by a thread. You shrugged when others struggled, and you also demanded sympathy the second the target landed on your back. But the remarkable thing is that you genuinely seem to believe that some people in the game were the problem. Week after week, conversations, and after several conversations, you treated kindness like a weakness and respect like it had to be earned from you and not given in return. And Big Brother isn't one because you can belittle people into feeling down at times. The best players understand that like every goodbye is a future jury vote, which I don't think you understood. You treated jury management as if it was an optional thing, and now you're gonna face the consequences. I definitely feel like there's villains in this game that I respect. Like obviously the game is about lying and manipulating and blindsiding them, but that's the game of Big Brother. But they still understand that everyone in the house is a person and you never learned that distinction. Instead, your legacy in this game is going to be the fact that you didn't play this game strategically because honestly, like I don't believe you had none. Your legacy is making people feel smaller simply because you had to hold the opportunities. So when people were caught in a lie or you didn't respect their decisions, you did certain things that made them feel some type of way. And also, I want to say one last thing. Everything that I just told you right now, it was not directed to me. It's towards what I've heard from the jury, from certain individuals. So I'm not going to make you apologize to me because you had every right to evict me, which I respect. But although you also at times spoke to me poorly, I could care less since I told you in our DMs that I'm not really worried about you either way. It won't be my job to tell you who I'm referring to because that's you. That's who you should know. That you should apologize to because if you're going based off your actions, then you kind of already know who I'm talking about. So tonight, Sam, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna hear you out, and trust me, it's gonna be really, 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 really hard for you to impress me. But right now, I will definitely not be rewarding a wicked witch persona with this money because I have a lot of love and respect for this game. So good luck. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Wait, tough to follow that up. All right. Up next to the stage.
What was the question?
I don't think there was one, but
There wasn't
Okay.
one.
I'm just trying to break the tension.
All right. Up next to the stage, we have jury member number 3. Hello, the second returnee evicted from this season, Miss Starla. Hello,
Why did you
Starla.
guys give Starla 3, not Mackenzie?
Oh, that was actually. I'll let someone decide. It wasn't our decision. It was another person's.
Okay.
But Starla, whenever you are ready to begin, you may. But before
I
Starla, we cannot hear you.
I can't hear Starla. If you have like a special headset, if you click on the mic, there's like a drop down with like so many fucking options. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
That one doesn't work.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that one works.
Ooh. All right, you're good to go, Starla.
Yeah. I don't have a question. Both of you hurt me in different ways. Jason, you hurt me less. And because you had the decency to only use me for game reasons, my vote's going to you. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Starla. All right. Next juror was unable to attend. However, they did leave a question. So, fourth member of the jury was... Oh, wait. What the hell? Are they here? Right on cue?
Is Mackenzie here?
I believe so. Well, I'm bringing you to the stage.
I can't hear him again.
Thank you.
Who, me? All right. Welcome,
Oh my God! Stop.
Alpha Mac.
Oh my.
All right.
Oh
Mac,
my God.
whenever you are ready, you can unmute, and the floor is yours. Although, let's see if we can hear you first.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Hi.
On you.
Thank you, Nathan, so much. Thank you. Anyways, I just started feeling better, so I'm glad that I was able to make it right now. But my first question for you both, if we could make it quick and short and sweet, is what would be the move that you felt was strongest for your game and the most pinnacle that led you in the right direction to on your way to the final?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to answer soon?
I guess I can go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna double down on what I said earlier. I really think making that move against the alliance of Rob, Steven, Jimberly, and Wu and getting Steven out was a pivotal moment in the game. And if that didn't happen, the whole game would have been completely different. I guarantee you one of them would have been sitting in this spot. I wouldn't have been here. Jason probably wouldn't have been here. It would have been a whole different story to this game. You said keep it short and
Okay,
sweet, so
I
I
see
kept
no
it short.
lips moving. I could be wrong, but I hear nothing. So, I will read it back. But on the flip side of that, what do you feel like is a move that you were so confident in that you made personally and that backfired on you?
Okay, so I'll go again. I mean, honestly, the veto where I threw it to Jason for him to get his safety, for him to save me, I honestly thought it would have worked out, that I would have been able to bring Slade and Jason into the next cycle. And obviously it didn't work out that way, but that's what my goal was for that move, was to position myself as best as I can and make it further with my two closest allies.
Am I good to start? She finished.
I don't think they can hear either of us.
Can you hear me, Mac? Can they not hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, they can't hear. Okay, so I'll just
Did
answer.
you say something? Because I did not.
Okay, all right. So they can. They'll have to watch after.
I
Okay,
will
so
gladly
as far
have
as
to rewatch the film back. But thank you for answering my question. Bye bye and good luck.
oh, I still have to answer. That's fine.
Jason, you can answer.
Okay, so my answer for the biggest move that I made, would have to be the the 1 week I won HOH besides the final, where I got Steve out. And it's not just specifically because I targeted Steve, but I feel like I really utilized that HOH the best of my ability. I used it to get out a target that I felt like was gaining momentum and would be able to sniff out the fact that I was working with everybody. And I also used it to strengthen my bonds with people that I wasn't still necessarily locked in with and working with. I made sure as soon as I won, I ran to people like Natasha and Rob and Joshi and was like, hey, like, I'm in power right now. You guys are good. Don't sweat this week. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. And then I immediately went into game mode in terms of getting my target out and figured out what I could do to get Steve out. I knew I wouldn't have Slade's vote, or Starla's vote or Joshy's vote or Sam's vote, even though I was working with a lot of them. And therefore, I had to rely on votes from Imana, Michael, Mackenzie, and Kevin from Clocks. And that was only 4, and I knew I needed 7 for a tie to send him away. And immediately it clicked to me like Rob's group had already kind of been outed with Rob, Lou, Steven, and Jimberly. And I was like, all right, if I put Steve up against one of those people, that's going to be 3 votes that gets rid of Steve. And then the 4 votes that I have from Clocks is enough to tie it. And he's going to go out even if Sam and Slade didn't want it to happen. So I made sure to go to Rob immediately and be like, hey, like, just so you're aware, I'm putting up your allies, but you are not my backdoor. It's going to look like you are getting backdoored, but you're not. If you want me to pick you for veto to show that you're not the target, I will pick you. But I think your people might pick you instead. And if they do, then I'll just pick someone else. And it ended up working out really well because Wu ended up picking Mackenzie. So Steven was able to pick Rob, and then I was able to pick Jimberly, and we were able to lock in Steve not being able to compete for veto, which is the first thing that I had to make sure was okay. And then the second thing was making sure that the votes were there for Steve to leave. They were pretty locked in no matter what happened, but I did get wind pretty quickly from people like Natasha and Kevin and Mackenzie and Derek that Slade was making a play to get Steven out. So I knew if the veto was to be won, Steven had to be the one that was taken down. So I made sure when I won veto, Steven was the person I took down when I put Steve up. And it was basically like game over at that point. I don't think there was anything Steve could have done to stay.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Mac. I will send you away. To the people who are still in the studio that might be having audio issues, just make sure that the output of your audio that's probably what I'm assuming is half the issue. So I would just check your mic settings to make sure that those are the 2 things that are working properly. However, up next, we've got the house guest that was whisked away within the darkness during Blackout Week. Welcome to the stage, Imana. Hello, Imana.
Hey guys, is my microphone working?
Yes.
Hey. All
Awesome.
right.
So I have 2 questions. One is going to be for Sam, one is going to be for both of you. So I'll start with the Sam one first. I know that you're getting drilled tonight, so I'm really sorry to play a part in that, but I'm hoping that this is going to help you out. So Sam, I believe that you were a deliberate thinker in trying to play actively. However, you also espoused a lot of rhetoric about loyalty, being a team player, not liking snakes, and wanting to be honest. As a player, I really value self-interest, mercenary gameplay, and looking out for your own agenda first and foremost. If you were playing with your head and not your heart, like you said, then why did it seem as if you didn't always value your own self-interest above everything else? And if you did value other things more than your own self-interest, why? Try to maybe give some examples and dig a little deeper than the Steven vote. Don't hesitate to talk about big moments or more subtle moments where you were looking out for Team Sam more than anything else.
Oh no, did she not? She might not have.
Sorry, I was trying
Imana?
to listen through the stream, but some of it cut out.
Oh no, did she not? She might not have.
Sorry, I was trying to listen through the stream, but some of it cut out. I'm gonna have to re-listen to that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Jason his question while you get your bearings. Take all the time that you need. So Jason, talk to me about what was your favorite part of this experience?
Oh God, don't ask me that. I wouldn't say that there was like a specific moment because there were a lot of times that I like really found myself having fun. But I will say, I don't want to get emotional. I've been like trying not to get upset. This was such a good fucking cast. Like, I've been playing these games for like so long. Like, I know the running joke is that I'm old as fuck. But this, just everyone that was in this cast, like, was so good strategically. And I just really had so much fun talking game with people and just personally connecting with people that the social aspect, even though I like realized for a game, like I had to lean into that, like this cast made it so easy for me. There's so many games where I like dread having to fucking talk to people. and I feel like it's like pulling teeth having to like get game and just like connect with everyone. And I just feel like with this game, it was so easy for me. And I hope that doesn't like come out as like a cop out answer, but like genuinely like just I don't know, the casting for this was just like absolutely perfect. There wasn't one person that I disliked this whole season.
No, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I feel the same way. I'm going to turn my attention to Sam. I'm going to ask you the same question. And if you had the chance to listen to my earlier question, I would love it if you could get into that as well.
Okay, so I think I understand what you were asking me. I tried my best in this game to do what I felt was always right for myself, but also for my allies. You can't get somewhere in the game if you don't have the proper allies to advance with you. So besides the Steven thing, another thing that came to my attention, I'll use you for an example, okay? In the beginning of this game, you were somebody that, like, we got along personally, but we didn't have any game conversations or anything. I knew that there was a point in the game that you were going to probably turn on me had you had the chance to, because I wasn't an asset to you. When I won that HOH, I had people like you, Mackenzie, Kevin, that came to me, and I tried to make relationships with you guys or tried to form something for the future, knowing that, okay, I'm not gonna, because originally what I was probably going to do was go after either you, Kevin, or Mackenzie. That's what my original plan was. Yeah, I ended up changing, and I said, you know what? I don't think that's the move for me right now. I think I can take my HOH, take this to the advantage of trying to build something with them, and go after a solid group that I know is going to be like a huge dynamic in the game moving forward. So fast forward to you. You were somebody that I ended up building a strong, genuine relationship with. Mostly everything I said to you was true. We built a very strong foundation. I ended up hearing after my double HOH, when I kept you safe, you ended up having a VC with Jason, and you leaked to Jason everything Slade told you. Slade told you that he was trying to go after Jason. You were trying to make them turn against each other. And then, from my understanding, you also mentioned to Jason that you were going to start going after me and Slade. I knew at that moment I could not trust you anymore. My loyalty to you, and like I knew I had to make a move against you moving forward. So the next cycle, when it was the blackout, and we all kind of had an idea on who we thought the HOH was and who the possible potential nominee was. That's why for my game, I had to put you at the top for you to be evicted over everybody, because you were playing one of the best games in the house, in my opinion, and you were taking information from people and telling it to other people, and you were putting my game and Slade's game in danger, and you were trying to make my two top allies go against each other, which was not what was best for my game.
Thank you so much for the answer.
Okay, wait,
Best
I
of luck
can't
to
hear
both
you.
of
Hold on.
guys. Oh. Nathan, if I still
apologize
have
for
the
some of
5
that.
minutes left.
I
Or no?
do believe time is up.
Okay, never mind then.
I'm really sorry. This is really difficult. Like, I can't hear anything.
You're fine. Sam, if you want to
You're doing great.
do you want to answer that question real quick?
What I don't even, what was the question? I don't even know.
Imada, you tell it to me and I'll relay it to Sam real quick.
What was the best part about this experience for you?
Sam, what was the best part of this experience for you?
Honestly, one of the best parts of this experience for me, like, coming into this game with Jason, like he said, we had a very rocky past. I know he came in the beginning of this game saying that, like, he owed me and all this stuff, but it took a lot for me to actually go out and trust him. It took everything every single day for me to build true loyalty and a strong foundation with him. The same thing with Slade. Like, Slade ended up being one of my closest allies. I knew of Slade. I've never played with Slade before. So I didn't know how Slade played. I didn't know if he was loyal. Those were two relationships that I made sure I worked on every single day, and they were the two strongest relationships I had in the house that constantly gave me information. And when they were in positions of power, or like Slade won HOH, kept me safe. I was the only person that he kept safe out of everybody when he won. And then Jason, the relationship that I ended up rebuilding with him, he was in a position where he didn't have to even use that veto on me. He ended up saving me, and he put his other final 2 on the block, and then he brought me to the end. So I genuinely don't like, it seems like you guys all hate me, which if you guys hate me, like, it is what it is. I honestly, I don't really know exactly what I did to like piss everybody off. I think I'm just a very blunt person, and I think for the most part, I'm like, my honesty and my bluntness gets me in trouble. I'm not saying I played this game 100% honest. Obviously, like, everybody lies in some aspect. So sometimes I had to lie too. But I think just the fact that I am a super blunt person, and like, if I'm feeling a certain way, I tell it how it is. I just don't sugarcoat it. People just don't like that. And I mean, there's nothing I can change about that, unfortunately. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Imana. I am going to send you backstage now.
Am I able to address something with Imana or no?
We are at 8 minutes right now.
All right, never mind.
Save it for the close-in statement. All right. Up next, we've got her. Next jury member, Woo Biotic. Oh, how fun to see you as a juror this time around.
Hi guys.
Oh my god, the fact that she came on and the screen wasn't pitch black totally missed out.
I have my light on. Look.
I know. Oh my god, it should have just been completely dark.
God.
All right, Woo, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so my question, my very original question I've thought about for a very long time. I took a long time to think about this. If you could do things differently, would you?
That's it?
No, I have more questions, but
oh my god, that's gonna be like, oh my god, if that's like so similar to Kevin's question, I'm gonna die. Sam, do you want to go first? Or I'll go first because she has a delay. Okay. All right, don't get mad at me for this answer. Game-wise, I would not change anything. I think game-wise, hopefully it shows that things really went how I wanted it to for the most part. There were a couple parts of the boot order that could have been interchanged a little bit, but like the end people that I wanted at the end were at the end. Two things that I wish I had handled differently in the game were the double eviction that Sam was HOH and Mackenzie and Starla left. I wish I had been on before eviction. My day ended up being way longer than I thought it was going to be, and I like fucked up the eviction time, and I thought I was going to have time to come on and touch base with Mackenzie about the fact that I couldn't get the votes for them to stay. And I like genuinely like wanted to have a VC with Mackenzie to like just break down why I wasn't going to make the effort to keep them. I just felt like based on the conversations I had had, it was very slim chance they were going to stay. And Kevin was somebody that I was just as happy having in the game still, and someone that was loyal to me. And I didn't want to like expend my social equity trying to keep Mackenzie over Kevin. But I at least wanted to take the time to tell that to Mackenzie. Unfortunately, my day was so fucked that day. I basically ghosted the whole day. And I'm really sad I didn't at least get the time to explain that to them. And then same thing kind of goes for Starla, but not quite the same. I told Starla initially I was going to keep her, and in an ideal scenario, I was not going to keep Starla, but I had at least said that to her because I knew there was a chance Starla could stay because Imana and Slade wanted her to stay. And if you also decided that you wanted Starla to stay, I know no matter what me or Michael did, it didn't matter. So I at least wanted to have that like route to go in the event that you decided to keep Starla. And I did intend at some point, like before eviction, to acknowledge the fact that I wasn't going to keep Starla to her. I did not want her to get blindsided, especially unanimous. I didn't think that was going to happen. So I do regret not being on for that eviction to at least explain myself to both of them. The other vote that I kind of regret, even though strategically I still believe it was the right move, was the vote that you were against Natasha. I think Natasha leaving was better for my game because it took a piece away for Derek and Mackenzie. I knew they were both really good with Natasha, and her staying just gave them more avenues to go through the game without needing me to be in the game. And I also knew Natasha was coming from Michael, and I did not want to be in a situation where I was on the block with Michael. But after, oh man, I'm gonna get sad. After hearing how upset she was for not making the jury and like hearing that like she'd never made the jury before and like just really wanted that goal, I really felt really bad for sending her out. And if I had maybe had that context before the vote, I would have voted emotionally and I would have tried to keep her that round, even though it wasn't the best thing for my game. And those would probably be the two things I would do differently.
Okay. Does Sam want to go now or?
Give her 10 minutes.
I do think that your HOH was that was a very good move that you did because you didn't even have any backlash.
Sorry, this is so horrible. Okay. Do I have any regrets? That's basically what the question is, or would I have done something differently?
If you could do things differently,
I think gameplay as a whole, no. I guess a lot of the jury just doesn't, I don't know, like the way that I communicate or something. So I guess maybe don't be as blunt or honest in how I'm feeling in a moment or something. But I can't really control that, unfortunately. I think the only thing in the game that I regret doing was making that deal with Kevin and Mackenzie during that HOH endurance competition, because I knew that if I were to win, I was nominating them. I just felt like they would have done the same thing. Throughout this season, they've both lied to me about things. So I feel like if you're willing to go out of your way and make a deal and lie, like, why can't I, basically? That's the way I felt about the situation. I knew another round during the HOH and advantage competition, Mackenzie told me that they went for the HOH and struck a deal and said that they would keep me safe if they won, but I knew that they lied and that they actually went for the advantage. And they had an advantage that I asked them about if they went for HOH or had the advantage again, and they lied to me again. So there was just a lot of instances that I kept finding out that they were lying to me, and I guess I didn't feel bad in the moment lying and making a deal and going back on it, but that's not normally what I do. I don't normally make deals in games and then go back on them. So yeah, I wish I could take that back. I just wouldn't have done it.
All right. Any final thoughts, Woo?
Well, it was really fun playing with you guys. Like, I liked working with both of you guys. It was super fun, especially when, like, Sam put me up, and then, like, that was a time that let us, like, work together, actually. That was kind of crazy because I thought I would be kind of, like, beefing with Sam the rest of the game. But that was really fun. So I wish you guys the best. So I don't know what else to say.
Oh my God,
I have another question.
Thank you, Woo.
Sorry, I'm just listening to what you said now, and I agree. It was so iconic that we went from going against each other to working together, and that was one of the highlights of the season for me, to be honest.
All right. Next up, unfortunately, Slade could not make it to the live jury Q&A. However, he did leave a question that he wanted me to read out to you both. Additionally, he also wants me to say that it was a pleasure working with both of you in this season before I get into the questioning. For Slade's question, Slade asks, explain the lowest point in your game and how you pivoted to a better position.
Do you want to go first, Sam?
Do you want to go first so I can listen to what he just said?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't want to sound like cocky, but I feel like I really didn't have that many low points in this game. I feel like I had a pretty good grasp on what was going on. But I would say probably the lowest point for me was the cycle Michael was HOH. and Drago ended up being the renom and leading against Steve. I'd put in work with Michael to try to get Steve as a nominee, and he was my intended target for that cycle. And Drago was somebody that was really close to me at the beginning of the game. So the fact that he was on the block against Steve and he was going to stay, I felt like I was in a really, really bad spot going into that next cycle. So that HOH, I've never fucking try-harded so hard on a competition in my life. And I know Nathan can't say anything now, but I guarantee I was the most annoying person for that HOH out of everybody. I probably asked dozens and hundreds of questions in terms of like loopholes for what I could submit for stuff, because I knew I really needed to win. And the fact that I was able to go from a cycle where my target and someone that I was potentially thinking of bringing to the end ended up leaving against, to being HOH and then getting that person out and like setting myself up to a point where I felt like I could low-key just coast and be comfortable for the remainder of the game, was a big turning point for me. Like I felt like absolute shit after Drago's eviction and thought like my world was done in 1UP BB, to being HOH and being able to just like execute one of the best HOHs I've ever had in my org career. Like I feel like I was a fucking surgeon that HOH. I knew exactly what I was going to do and I got it done. And that's my answer. You're good to go, Sam.
Hi. Okay. I guess I would say it was probably the cycle that Starla won HOH. Starla, Jason, Slade, and I were in an alliance. We all came together for the HOH comp. We basically helped Starla win the competition. And then once there was a renom being done, all I was trying to do was give my input to Starla and tell Starla, if your target was the initial nominee, I don't think it's smart for you to put up Desiree. It had nothing to do with the fact that I was so close to Desiree or I was trying to control her HOH or anything. It was just me trying to give insight. And that ended up turning into me and Desiree are super close, and Starla got super upset about that, I guess. And then she started telling everybody about our alliance and that I wanted Steven out and all this stuff, when theoretically, if I truly wanted Steven out, I would have told Starla that Steven was the one that had the weapon. Steven was the one that was lying to her. That would have given enough ammunition to Starla for Starla to want to target Steven. And that's not what I wanted to do in the moment. I wasn't trying to do that. So it was very difficult trying to get past that. And honestly, as somebody who, like, in the instance, what I normally would do would play with my heart and play emotionally. After that instance, I would have targeted Starla, but I won HOH after that, and I kept her safe. I tried to rebuild our connection. I tried to rebuild our trust. I know eventually it didn't necessarily work, but I did the best that I could during the time that I had in the game to still try and work on that and keep Starla in there, when I think everybody thought that I was going to go after Starla and target her. It just, in my opinion, it wasn't in my cards. It wasn't the right time to do that. It wasn't something I wanted to do. It wasn't the move.
All right. Thank you both. Up next, we have got someone who I know quite well.
Oh, soaking.
Wait, why is Michael? Oh, Michael, I thought he got to the stage.
Oh my god.
No. Hey, Kevin.
Hello. Can
God,
you hear me?
stop.
Hey.
Because I can't
Yes,
hear you.
I can.
My audio's lost in
No.
the time warp. So I'm
Here.
going to listen along to the YouTube in a second. But for that reason, I'm going to ask all my questions up front and then just hope I don't have any follow-ups. That's my plan here. I have a couple clarifying questions to start. One, Wu stole my original question, so I had to come up with another one. Love and light to both of you. I really enjoyed playing with both of you. Sam, my quick fire questions for you, my best frenemy. In your intro, you mentioned taking a lot of like risks with your HOH. Can you elaborate a little bit more in like 30 seconds on the Canada week, what the risk you were taking there was? And my second question for Sam, I'll give you, is were you at all open to cutting Jason at Final 6 when he was on the block against Wu? My clarifying question for Jason is, Jason, who was your most useful asset? I have another question too that I'll ask both of you. If you're already talking, I'm so sorry.
Can you hear me?
But I'll ask the other question at the very end.
Yeah, Sam, go first.
Okay, let me go first. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me. The more so risky move that I made, I was referring to the Steven move, because if he would have stayed that cycle, all hell would have broken loose, and I would have probably gone home one of the next few cycles. During the Canada week, when I nominated you, Mackenzie, and Michael, the risk for me was putting up Michael, because I had somewhat of a decent relationship with Michael, and I didn't really want to kind of fuck that over. But I felt like, given the chance that I couldn't play veto, I needed to make a more smart, calculated move and just straight up put Michael on the block. I knew that was going to probably ruin my relationship with Michael, so I was making a risk in ruining my relationship with him. I didn't want the chance to just put up Starla, Mackenzie, and you, and then somebody like Imana, Jason, Michael, somebody winning the veto, and then taking somebody off, and then I would have to end up putting one of my closer allies in the block. So the risk that I took was putting up Michael, knowing that he's a strong player, and if he stayed, which I knew there was a very high chance he was going to, that he would start coming after me, but I just felt like I needed to make that move for my game. I don't remember the other question you asked. I'm so sorry. Nathan, do you know what it is?
I'm going to answer it because I remember his question, which was most useful asset. That's a really tough one for me, and I don't want to like have a cop out for saying two people, but safety wise and competition wise, I would say Imana was one of my best assets because they were winning lots of competitions. And even though they necessarily didn't do exactly what I needed them to do, I felt safe when they were in power. So I could navigate relationships with other people more. I knew I could focus on like making sure I was better with other people when they were HOH because I didn't feel like I was going to be targeted. But information and game wise, I feel like my best asset was Mackenzie. Mackenzie told me a lot of information. Mackenzie warned me about a lot of things that happened in terms of like people potentially finding out how my game was going, and gave me enough time to course correct and like do damage control before it like shit like really blew up. Like Mackenzie told me pretty early on, Starla was spreading the chat with people. Mackenzie told me about Jimberly trying to tank my game and leaking the alliance with me, Wu, Sam, and Slade, which I was the one that leaked that to Jimberly, by the way. She was the person that I told, and I had to kind of course correct that. And there was some more information that Mackenzie had given me as well in terms of like relationships with Steven and alliances, and just the way that like Steven and Rob were kind of navigating the game that ultimately made me want to make sure Steven left over Wu. So I'm sorry I couldn't just say one person, but there were two aspects in that I felt were like really valuable. Like Imana gave me safety and Mackenzie gave me information.
I'm going to take your silence to think I can ask my next question. And it's to both of you. Why is your game the full package?
Here, Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me repeat Kevin's question so you don't have to like be sitting on the screen.
I just went back and heard the other question that he asked about was I going to cut Jason at Final 6 against Wu. And no, I was not going to cut Jason against Wu at Final 6. Honestly, just like I've been with Jason since the beginning of the game, yes, but in my opinion, I think Wu was playing a phenomenal game. I think if Wu made it to the end, she would have had such an amazing chance to win this game. She fought every single day. She was nominated, 7 times. She won 2 AI competitions. She survived the block every time she was up, pretty much. And I think she won the anonymous HOH. I'm not sure, but I think she did. I heard that. I think she played a fantastic game. And I think in that moment, the move was not for me to cut Jason over Wu. I think all of us would have had a really hard time beating Wu in the end.
All right, Kevin.
Okay, I can't hear you now.
Kevin, what was your question?
Kevin can't hear you either.
Okay, I just heard
Bye.
that.
No.
You're both really great. I think I'm going now. Bye.
Oh.
No.
No,
Was there a final
ask.
question?
Yes.
Oh God. My second question, I hope you're at this point, is why is your game the full package?
Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear nothing.
Can you hear me?
Sam, can you hear me?
No, he can't hear me. I mean, I personally think my game is the full package because I did the best that I can to navigate the relationships that I had in here. I was constantly giving information that people themselves weren't giving me, but I was given from my allies themselves, and I was able to utilize that and make the moves that I needed that were necessary for my game. I wasn't scared to make a risk. I wasn't scared to win an HOH competition and make a move. I wasn't super aligned over everywhere. For the majority of the game, whether you guys believe it or not, I was honest with everything I was saying. Every single vote, every hidden vote, I was honest about everything. It was more towards the middle of the game when I started making like that fake deal with you and Mackenzie. That's when I started to more so lie about stuff. And then towards the end game, I wanted people to think that me and Jason were fighting, and maybe that was a better chance for Jason to end up staying in the game, because I knew that if I was in the end, if either of us won that final HOH, we would take each other. So I feel like I did the best that I could in this game to get myself to this point. I adapted as well as I could. I tried to make the best moves that I could given every single cycle with all the twists and everything. And I feel like personally I didn't play a very selfish game. I tried to play a game that benefited me and my closest allies. My goal was to do the best that I can to make it as far as I can with the people that I felt the best with. That was my goal this game, and I feel like I did that.
You done, Sam? Okay. I feel like my game was the full package because I feel like I kind of touched on this already in terms of like being able to. I feel like the big three in most games are being social, being strategic, and being comp heavy when you need to. And I knew when to lean on one over the other. And just based on how the season progressed and like the format of the game, this was a very social heavy format. And I leaned on that like really, really hard this season. I normally don't do that. I'm usually a very strategic and comp heavy person. I genuinely generally like get myself into trouble by just winning shit when I don't need to. And I feel like I like made a conscious effort to kind of dial it back this season and not win and tank my game. And a lot of that also did stem from the fact that I was just busier than I usually am when I play these. I knew coming into this, my schedule was going to conflict with some of the live stuff, and there were potentially going to be times where I couldn't fight for myself because I wasn't going to be on. So I instead just made sure that I was like so well positioned that even if I disappeared for a cycle or two, I wasn't going to go anywhere. And I genuinely feel like if I touched the block at like any point this game, I wasn't going to go home. Even the cycle that I was against Wu, I felt super safe. That cycle, the biggest fear for me was Kevin winning Kevin winning veto and taking Wu down, because if Kevin and Wu had the votes for that cycle, I was really worried they were going to notice like what I was doing and take me out. But when Kevin was going to save Michael and he saved Michael, I felt totally fine because I knew Sam was going to keep me and I knew Michael was going to keep me no matter what. So the biggest blip in like me potentially going home was that 60-minute window where Kevin didn't say what he was going to do with the veto. But after that, I felt fine.
All right. Finally got there. Thank you so much, Kevin. You're good now. Goodbye. All right. Got one final juror for the night. Hopefully he can hear me. But final juror, Michael, let's take it home. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing all right, guys. How's it going? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear
Yeah,
me?
I can hear you.
Okay. My first question is actually
Hi, I can't hear you through this. I can hear you through this. I'm sorry.
okay. My first question is for Sam. Your competition record obviously speaks for itself this season. However, I'd like to know where you feel like you outdid Jason this season, socially and strategically, as to why you deserve to be the winner of season 5. And then my question for Jason is, my question for you is, where do you feel like, or no. What do you feel like is a move you made this season that nobody knows about, that maybe you haven't even mentioned yet this season, that you feel like is really impressive? And honestly, I know, like, just like Sam has said tonight, we had a shit ton of conversations this season where you leaked a ton to me, where I knew a lot about your game from that, but I'd like to know more about your game that maybe I don't know yet.
Sam, are you up to date? Or should I answer first? Okay, she's still listening, so I will answer. Um uh
Oh,
oh, now she's up to date.
is it me going? Yes, me? Okay. Sorry. Socially, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I played a better social game than Jason. I think Jason played one of the best social games in the house. I'm gonna give him his flowers for that. He was perfectly aligned through basically the whole house, getting information, always in a position of being safe. He pretty much threw almost every competition because he didn't need to win. The strategy aspect towards it, like I said, I was given a lot of information from my allies that I wasn't getting directly from you guys, and I used that to my advantage. That's what helped me make moves in this game. I wasn't scared to make the moves. I know I didn't have as strong relationships as Jason did, which is maybe why I wasn't afraid to make the moves, but I didn't want to be somebody that hid behind people. I wanted to take risks. I wanted to be brave. I wanted to make the moves that I felt needed to be made in this game on my own accord, based on what I wanted to do, how I wanted the trajectory of this game to move forward. So I felt like even though he had the better social game and he had the better individual relationships with people, he kind of snaked a lot of people in regards to giving me all the information that he kind of snaked some people and gave me all the information that I needed to make the moves that I wanted to make. So it's like maybe he was scared to make them, maybe he didn't want to get blood on his hands, so he maybe utilized me for that. But I never did anything directly for him. I did everything for myself based on what I needed to do to make it to this spot. So
And before Jason asks
hold on.
or before Jason answers his question, Sam, if your ideal final 3 was Jason and Slade this season, and that's how the final 3 went, and it was those two with you there, and you win final HOH, who would you take? Because earlier on this season, we had a conversation where we were talking about people with high win equity, and I remember us talking about Wu and Mana and Jason, and how we sort of agreed that these 3 are most likely the front runners of the season. So in that particular circumstance, since you were close with those 2 the most, what would you have done?
Yeah, I knew this question was gonna come. I'm actually surprised it didn't come sooner. This is probably something Jason's gonna be very upset about, but I feel like there were a lot of instances in this game where you knew that we had conversations and I was very vocal with you that I felt like you were kind of annoying me with things. Like you would purposely throw comps and like not show up or ignore something. And like, I'm not I'm not stupid. I know that you were throwing because you were in a situation that you didn't need to win. But for me, I respect more in an ally somebody that doesn't throw, and like Slade was somebody that even though he didn't have as high as a competition win equity as you did, he was somebody that always tried his best. The cycle at Final 5 where Michael, you took the veto win from me, that was actually kind of a blessing in disguise because I didn't want to have to make the decision to cut Jason or Slade, but it's the same. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is it's the same answer. What I would have done at that final 5 or what I would have done at the final 3. I think I was in a position where I truly felt I had more loyalty and a better relationship individually with Slade. I don't know. I can't say for sure that I would have cut Slade over Jason or whatever. That never happened. So I don't know what I truly would have done in the moment, but I was more so leaning to keeping Slade in that moment, which I'm so sorry, Jason. But I knew what kind of a game you played. I also knew that you were very close with Michael. Like, if you would have stayed, there was a high chance that maybe you would have turned on me. I felt like I had a better relationship with Slade, individually, anyways. Like, I know we were very close, but that's just where my head was at.
Thank you, Sam. And Jason.
Can you hear me in real time?
I
Are you
can
just?
hear you, and I hear you right
Oh,
now.
Sam just fucking just lifted a weight off of me because the cycle that I kept you, I have been like battling that because
Final 5.
I feel like Final 5, I in the moment like voted emotionally and I kept you just because I did not want you to leave. And the more I thought about it after, I was like, you know what, this might have been the move because going into Final 4, I was very worried that I wasn't worried Slade was going to win the veto. Like, no shade to Slade, but he was not going to win. But I was very worried if Sam won HOH and then she won veto, she was going to give Slade the vote to evict that cycle, and Slade would have evicted me. So Sam admitting that she would have potentially cut me over Slade just like confirms some of the suspicions I had, and strategically makes me feel good about the decision to keep you, because the decision to keep you at Final 5 was strictly emotional and just because I really cared about you as a
And can I bring
person
up
and as a game
something
player.
about that as well?
Yes.
Kevin told me right after that vote that you had told him if he didn't want it to go to a tie, you would have evicted me for that reason alone. Does that is that accurate? If
No.
Kevin had told you he didn't want it to go to a tie, would you have evicted me?
No. I
Okay.
asked Kevin what Kevin wanted to do, and he said, I don't know. And I just voted how I wanted to vote.
Okay.
So that's not true.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was your initial
The
question?
question was, what do you feel like is a move you made this season that maybe you haven't mentioned yet that, either socially, strategically, physically, that is just something that, not even I know about, nobody knows about yet, that you feel like is impressive, if there's anything?
Um, I I don't think there's a move that I made that you didn't know about. The only part of my game that you weren't like privy to was the fact that I was good with Sam and was going to keep
Right.
Sam over you.
Yeah.
Everything else, I feel like I did in unison with you.
Mhm.
And if I had to say a game move that like other people weren't aware of, what was probably the Steven and Wu vote. But you were privy to that because like
Yeah.
you and I talked about it extensively.
Yeah.
The only part of that vote that maybe you aren't aware of is the fact that at the time I really thought that you were the vote that we needed to swing to keep Wu. Because at that point no one had heard from Natasha, so people were assuming Natasha was evicting Wu. And I had already campaigned to Imana to keep Wu over Steven, and Imana wouldn't budge. So at that point, you were like the only person that I thought I could flip, and you were very stubborn on the fact that
I
you
know.
thought
I
Steven.
remember us. Yeah.
You were very sure that Steven and Joshy were gonna target each other. So
Right.
like dead
I mean,
ass.
I did evict Steven, though. I evicted Steven.
Okay. But
Yeah.
at that point, literally 2 minutes before eviction, I
I know.
finally got on VC with Joshy, and I told
Yeah.
Joshy, if we're gonna get the votes for Wu to stay and for Steven to leave, you need to get on the call and tell people if they think that they can play the middle ground while you target Steven and back and forth. Like you need to like call that shit out and tell them that's not gonna be the case. And he got on call and did that because
Wow.
I
So it
told
was
him
you
he
that
had to
got him
do
to do that. That's impressive. That's impressive.
that. And I would say, other than the fact that I had a deal with Sam, that was the only thing that you didn't know about.
All right. We'll wrap this up. Any final thoughts, Michael?
I should be in one of those chairs right now. That's my final thought.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
With that, all the jurors have asked the questions they needed to ask, and you all responded. That's how a Q&A works, by the way. Before we end this jury Q&A, I want to give both of you 5 minutes to give one final closing statement to wrap your game up in a bow, sell yourself, and leave anything you feel like you missed out on discussing or touching up on the floor. I forget who started. Who kicked us off? Was it Jason? No, Sam. Sam started. So Jason, you will start with the closing statements.
I was the one that started.
So Sam, you will end with the closing statements. So Jason, whenever you are ready to give your closing statement, you got 5 minutes. Don't have to use it all.
I'm not gonna use it.
All right. Well, the floor is still yours. As I remove Jason, I'll give a closing statement.
Yeah. I feel like I touched upon things that I did this game. I just want to take closing statements to like thank production for casting me. I know I didn't have the best initial interviews, and I didn't know if I was even gonna try this game. So the fact that you actually took the shot to cast me, like thank you for that. Also thank you for the casting process, because like this genuinely has like been one of the best casts I've ever played with, period, ever. And I really feel like that, as hard as it was, it's like a catch-22. Like as hard as it was to make the decisions I did, because I really liked the people that I played with, it did make it easier for me to navigate the game the way that I did. Just because I was able to enjoy and connect with people as much as I did. It's no secret that there were times where I legit didn't give a fuck, and I was like, I'm gonna go live my life. And if you guys are gonna do stupid shit without me here, that's fine. But the fact that I was able to just like vibe with people so much just helped me build enough influence to stay secure through the days where like I was just not here. And other than that, the only thing I want to say is happy birthday, Lene. And that's it. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Jason. Also, let me also rally. I didn't know it was Lene's birthday today.
Yeah, you suck. You're an awful
Fake.
friend.
Yeah, I will. Facebook lied. Usually I get like a little thing on Facebook that tells me these things, but happy birthday, Lene. All right. Thank you so much, Jason. All right. Sam, whenever you are ready, the floor is yours. I know you probably have to catch up with the stream. So once you see my beautiful face, just know it is all on you.
Okay, hi, I can hear you.
Hey. Wait, you can hear me again? Look at that.
I can start?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Okay. First, I want to say happy birthday, Lene. I love you, Queen. And also happy anniversary, baby. I love you so much. Okay. I'm gonna try and keep this, I guess, short and sweet. I mean, I played this game to the fullest of my abilities. I tried to play with resilience, bravery. I played with heart, and I played with honor. I've given you the reasons as to why I played the way that I played and why I deserve a chance for your vote. We've dissected my game through my opening statement and the jury questions. You guys have grilled me, and honestly, I would really like to have conversations with some of you after this because I truly did not know or did not mean to upset you guys the way that I apparently did, and I do apologize about that. I would like to hear more about that after the game is done. I know each juror is going to vote based off of whom they think ate this game up, and I think Jason and I have both played different and great games, and it comes down to you guys and who you think deserves to win, and I truly respect whatever you guys want to do. To the jury, it truly has been so much fun getting to know and play with you all. Every single one of you has helped me get here in some way, and I thank you guys for such a wonderful experience and game in here. You're all great players in your own way, and you should all be proud of yourselves for making it this far. Any of you could have ended up in these final 2 chairs easily tonight. Jason, it's truly been an honor playing this game with you. It's been a long and stressful and difficult game to navigate, but we did it. I'm so proud of us. Thank you for being an ally and a friend when I needed it. Production, thank you for putting together such an amazing experience for all of us, and thank you for giving me the chance to play. I've made a lot of connections with people I never would have, and I'm truly grateful for this experience. Best of luck, Jason. Love you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sam. And that's it.
Love you.
That's it. All right. You two have both come as far as you can go in this game. Once again, congratulations on making it to this point in the game. No matter how this turns out, you're both walking away with money. So at the end of the day, live it up. What a dominant final 2 both of you are. Seriously, I always get weirdly emotional during this part because it's like where I start the grieving for a season, and this season,
I know, it's like ending.
Right, and it doesn't hit you until you start to like trickle down into it. This season has been so phenomenal. I mention this all the time. I mean, this season had been in planning since July of last year, and so finally getting to put it on and building a cast. We received over 50 applicants when we knew we could only accept 16. That was brutal and that was really hard, but I feel like we assembled a cast that was going to provide the most with this twist in a format where we were trying a lot more episodes. And look, we got a final 2 who didn't really do anything with the episodes, but sometimes that's just how it works.
How close was I to getting cut?
Not really. I mean, because you had initially applied for Synthwave and were on the cast for Synthwave, it was kind of like, oh, we got you again. Maybe this is bound to be. But I mean, I can go into that postseason. But
yeah,
seriously, good job to both of you. You both did really great tonight in the Q&A. Sorry about some of the technical difficulties here and there. Used to it at this point with this season. But you two need to decide when you are both free so we can do the finale and awards. I don't care about the jurors. I don't care about their availability. This is completely on you two. We'll probably go through the finale pretty fast. I feel like last season we were yapping about awards. So we won't do that this season. But yeah, congratulations, you two. I will see you both tomorrow to reveal who has won and then get to do the fun stuff, which is awards, reunion, and the viewing party, release you back so you can see all the crazy things the viewers have said and how you really stacked up amongst the cast and the power rankings, so on and so forth. All the fun stuff postseason. But yeah.
And I wore my outfit.
You're supposed to do that tomorrow, but
Oh, I'm not wearing it again.
Well, put it in the wash real quick and we can run it back.
Wash, I'm fine. It's
okay. Yeah.
Don't sweat.
Yeah, right. All right. Good night, you two. Thank you to the jurors who attended and took time out of your nights for coming out and doing this. I really do appreciate it. Jurors, your votes.
I can't believe Jim really got on cam. I'm gagged.
I know. Face reveal.
When I was HOH, I had to pull teeth to get her to talk to me for 3 minutes. So
no, I mean, it was try getting a freaking video DR out of her was something.
Was
We
she
got
worse than me?
Oh God, yeah. I don't think we got a single
Oh,
one.
God.
Maybe one in the very early season, and then we got a couple voice notes here and there. I'm like, Jim, let's make
God.
the edit. I'm like, come on, you want to make the edit? Didn't want to make the edit, but
No.
that's okay. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm gonna head out, and you two decide on a time, and we will run that finale tomorrow. And I'll let the jurors know when their votes are locked.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night, everybody.
Bye.
End the stream.